Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned. Albino ranks every waifu and Doki Doki Literature Club Plus from worst to best, including the content from the side stories, which definitely helped flesh the characters out and make me care about them more, even though I already did. There's more to a waifu than just how she interacts with you, after all. Watching her interact with her friends is like an extra appreciative window into her soul. We're doing spoilers here, so if you haven't played the game, please avert thine gaze and deafen thine ears. Because all of these characters are so well written and well liked, it is almost impossible for me to rank them, and also impossible for this ranking to not piss people off, so just know that everyone is good, although I do have a clear favorite and a clear least favorite. Commence the flames of waifu war. Number 4, Yuri. Yuri's a big, tall weirdo who doesn't understand social situations and is used to being disliked and made fun of. However, I can't bring myself to roast her because that would be so mean. I'd rather make real-life jokes about poor, starving, disabled kids in Africa than punch down against Yuri. She needs to be protected. While it's true that of the 4 potential waifus in this game, I find her to be the one I'm least attracted to both physically and emotionally, Yuri still has so much to offer the right person who would be patient with her quirks, appreciate her bookish zest for literary worlds, and make her so hot with nothing but a stare that she'd have to suppress the urge to slice bread, if you catch my drift. Yuri's enthusiasm for sharing her passions is definitely endearing and relatable, and her occasional self-awareness of not wanting to be a burden or merely tolerated creates a difficult search for balance and understanding. Honestly, of all the girls, I think there's only one who wouldn't be a handful in one way or another, so that's not really making Yuri lose points. Just as an all-around package, she's less my type than everyone else, which is a shame because I'd probably say she's the one most likely to like me. I've definitely interacted with some Yuris in my time, and then because they like me, I just like them back because I'm a romantic attention whore, and then it lasts until it doesn't. Yuri is also probably my least favorite poet. I somewhat agree with Natsuki that you don't need to use overly flowery language to be ultimately expressive. Plus, Yuri's handwriting is dog shit, and by that I mean it's really good and I could barely read it. Number 3, Sayori. It may seem strange to say, considering I put her at number 3, but Sayori is the best character in Doki Doki Literature Club. Written to perfection. A bright and sunny girl on the outside, concerned only with the well-being of her friends, while she suffers in the pouring rain of her lonely and excruciating inner struggles. I used to think her depression was induced entirely by Monika in the base game, even though she says she's had it her whole life. I thought Monika just edited her memories and changed her whole backstory. But in the side stories that take place in another version of the universe where Monika has no such influence or potentially even knowledge of her status, Sayori still has incredibly poignant things to say about how she feels and the courage to defy her own self-imposed edicts and be brutally honest about just how bad it is. She introduces the phrase, "I am not my feelings," to counter the happiness she feels when she does make her friends feel nice or helps other people, because it doesn't change her state of being. Sayori is, in my opinion, the best poet in the club. Striking a balance between simple and deep, she can make you feel things Yuri never could with words that are 6 grade levels lower. The first time I read her Bottles poem, I legitimately cried, because even though I don't relate to it on a personal level, it was such a brilliantly easy to comprehend set of feelings that they just hit me like a truck. I'm not very interested in poetry, although I've flirted with the idea of trying it in this kind of context, but that's some real stuff, regardless of your inclinations. Sayori is number 3 in my waifu list because her depression and general brain activity would directly clash with my natural response to how she was feeling. I'd be the guy that didn't understand why compliments and doting on her and whatnot would make her feel worse because she doesn't want anyone to care about her or waste their time on her. Even comprehending that, I'd still do it because not doing it would feel wrong, which would cause a feedback loop of despair that Monokuma would be proud of, and then I gotta come home one day and find her decorating my ceiling with her body. I first played this game 4 years ago, and that image has never left my brain. If anyone even mentions Doki Doki Literature Club, it's the second thing that pops into my head right after the main theme song. I'm not showing it in this video, and you're welcome. Number 2, Monika. Monika's really that girl, That athletic, popular, attractive girl who discovers she's in a game and reprograms the script to drive her friends insane so she can be with the player. I'd really rather prefer to put that Monika out of my mind and pretend that side story Monika is the real Monika if she were a regular person. The fact that she's learning piano is kind of cheating. That automatically racks up points for girls, and it's a nice symmetry of experience because I'm also in the process of learning that song on piano piano because it never leaves my head. I know she has a voice in Doki Doki already when she sings the song, but I really still imagine Erika Lindbeck doing it in her Kaori Miyazono voice from Your Lie in April. Monika's poems are appropriately broken for a person whose idea of reality was recently shattered. Her style is pretty basic, and none of them really do anything for me, but Monika is still pretty much the perfect girl. Everyone else is like, sometimes I want to die, or everyone hates me and makes fun of me, or my dad is abusive and my home life sucks. Meanwhile, Monika is just like, well, I'm not very good at dealing with conflict, sad face. This last photo of her here is also just absolutely spectacularly drawn. There's not much to say about Monika when she's not trying to subvert her own programming. She's just a girl next door you wish would knock on yours. Number 1, Natsuki. My favorite part of Doki Doki Literature Club Plus is the new notice at the beginning saying that all girls shown in the game are at least 18. It's my favorite because it's only there for Natsuki, and it's also my favorite because it's a flat-out lie. She's a freshman in high school. The game calls her a first year. If she's 18, she's a dumbass. But for the purpose of keeping things legal and inconspicuous, let's agree she's 18. Natsuki is best girl. I understand some people don't like her attitude, but I think she's the best written character besides Sayori because all of her reactions and attitudes are expertly rationalized and feel very natural. In the side stories, she's dealing with a friend group that she's grown up with that constantly make fun of things she likes and treat her like a child, and are generally being what the kids would call hella toxic. So a lot of the feelings she internalizes shape her interactions with other people, and she makes assumptions based on her past experiences that aren't always right. Throughout everything, I think she's the character that grows the most, just not physically, because she's still malnourished AF. Natsuki is just my fave. I don't mind girls with attitudes since I'll just give as good as I get, and there's a real sense of accomplishment in breaking through a tsundere's defenses, as long as they actually like you underneath it all, and you're not just fooling yourself or being led on. Natsuki's the type to make it obvious by accident, since she'll take the initiative to force you to spend time with her and get flustered easily if you've got good timing on your lines. Her poems are written in a cutesy style that relies on simple wordplay to convey deeper meanings in the beginning, but as you get closer to her, her writing really seems to become more adult as she's coming to grips with her feelings for you. It's still easy to digest, but there's an added mature beauty to it, and it comes across very romantically. She'd be super fun to get closer to, and as we see after she comes over to bake with you, when the chips are down and the moment hangs in the air, she'll drop the act faster than you can drop Monika's character file into the trash. Oh, and if it wasn't obvious, I think she's super cute. Well, that's gonna do it for this waifu ranking. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Check out my other rankings or watch whatever you want. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino, and I'll see you guys next time.